Kyle Peterson's there, makes his home in Omaha, Nebraska. Has called a lot of College World Series games, and he'll be doing that again for ESPN in the coming several days here as we get started on Friday there. Kyle, thanks for hopping on with us this morning. How are you?
Morning, guys. I'm well. How are you?
Well, we're great. I just start with the scene you saw at Baum-Walker Stadium with Arkansas really dominating the super regional against Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, first game was a heck of a game. And then obviously a couple swings in the second game, and it just felt over in the fourth inning, which is crazy between those two teams, but it ended up kind of following script from that point. Listen, I love coming down there anytime, but we came to that one for a reason. We thought it had a chance to be pretty special, and it's everything involved. I mean, it's two teams, it's coaches, it's obviously the fan base and the passion that your state has for that program, and it always lives up to it. And we got out of there. I didn't really see all the post-game stuff. I ended up just seeing it on social, and then I think I listened to you guys on the airport on the way to the airport the other day. I think you were talking about, is Bart the one that took the picture of the kid jumping in the pond?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or took a video?
Yeah, he was.
So, I watched all that stuff afterwards and kind of kicked myself. Hart tried to get to a flight. I had to jump in one of the cars, and I wish I would have stayed around and seen it, because we usually don't do that. It's different if you're affiliated with a program, but usually when the game's over, you get out of there. That one I wish I would have stayed, because it looked pretty special.
Kyle, Zach Root was talking a second ago about that celebration, how he'll never forget that. I mean, you played. There are moments as a player, I would think, that that you'll never forget that as long as you live. And I just wonder if there were moments like that when you were a player.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's crazy stuff. Like, it isn't necessarily a play or we won the regional my freshman year. Well, I mean, Arkansas was in it that year at Wichita, and we came in as a 3 or the 4 seed. It was the old 6-team regionals. And fought back and whatever, ended up winning the thing. And the picture of all of us afterwards, kind of after the dog, I've got one of the dog pile, but then the one of all of us afterwards is still in my office. And it's because you can't, I mean, maybe the birth of a child, but you can't recreate that type of just happiness and emotion. And, for a lot of guys, I mean, for Kojal, everybody dreams of that moment if you play college baseball, don't get me wrong, but it's different when you grow up here because you've lived it on a daily basis. And obviously, for Cam, it's maybe different even more just with his dad's involvement, him being around it. But I think that's the biggest thing. It's just the incredible joy that you see, not on your face. This is kind of I'll never forget this. We had a kid who since passed away, but was in a wheelchair that always came to our Stanford games. And he could never get on the field because, at that point there wasn't wheelchair access to get anybody down on the field. So after we won my junior year, they brought his wheelchair down. And me and my buddy just picked him up. And I'll never, we walked him, sorry, it's one of those things that hits you don't think it's going to. We walked him down the field, and all he wanted to do was sit in the dugout.
Jeez.
And just, his parents still would send me a note. When he passed away, they sent me a note and just said, you guys may not have thought about it, but that little moment just meant the world to the kids. So it's that going in the stands. It's that, having some interaction that they had with somebody that is never going to get to do that again. And you may not think about it as a player, but from a fan standpoint, from the little kid that, is dying to be on that field at some point, and now those guys are coming through the stands, that's stuff that people never forget, not just the guys in uniform, everybody else that it affects.
It's interesting that you mentioned that story because of the stories that we've seen with these guys and their journeys, and then them embracing the fans like that spontaneously. And the constant conversation of DVH hasn't won one yet. And it just feels like everyone's on this journey together. And there's something about this team that they seem to be up for the moment. It's not too big, but they also know about it and they're embracing it. What have you sensed, or maybe we would call it a vibe about or a character about this team?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of comfort. And I think it starts with Dave and their staff of they let them play, and you don't feel like you're shackled. I mean, you said freedom to go play, and that sounds like the most basic thing in the world, but it's not always the case. I mean, there's a lot of times that you just don't have the mental freedom to go out there and do what you're able to do, and I think it's quite obvious that they feel like they have that. Clearly, there's a bunch of trust. I mean, you can't. I've said this a bunch. Like, the one place you can't trick in life is a clubhouse. You can trick a lot of people in a lot of places, but you can't trick a clubhouse. Like, guys figure out who I'm with you, or we're all together, or this ain't going to work for a variety of reasons. And clearly, they got a clubhouse that really makes sense. But from a pure baseball standpoint, it doesn't need to be a guy. I mean, how often do you have the SEC Player of the Year? And you look at it and you're like, well, if Eva has a bad day, we got 7 other dudes that can roll, so we're fine. And I think they have that. And there's a lot of places where you look at a lineup and go, that guy's not going to beat us. Well, they got a lot of that guys that you don't want to beat you. And offensively, it creates a really hard matchup for anybody they're playing.
Kyle, it's been interesting around here the last couple of days because Arkansas will play LSU in that first round. You don't hear as many people saying, hey, I don't know if they can win the World Series. People are saying, I don't know if they can beat LSU. And there's confidence, but at the same time, it's such a big matchup. I mean, how do you see that one shaping up? Right out of the gate, Saturday night, first round, you've got 2 of the best teams there.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 of the best teams there. You also have 2 of the best arms in the country going head-to-head. Mm-hmm. And, I've seen that place pretty crazy before, but I got a feeling Saturday night's going to be an environment that will match up with anything. How do I see it? Hell, I don't know. I mean, I can see. Well, here's what I don't see. I don't see it being 10-9. I mean, I think that it's just because of the arms that are out there. I'd be shocked if it's incredibly offensive. I mean, I do think it's probably one of those games to where, and even though the ballpark plays a little bit bigger, we've seen in the last couple of years, you can run them out of there. And I do think that the home run in that game in particular probably plays a big part. I mean, it's not 2 teams that are going to run a bunch. It's not 2 teams that are going to hit and run. And it's just kind of, hey, dudes on dudes and let's go. So in games like that, it feels, I don't think anybody's going to get 5 hits in an inning. I mean, I think you're going to have to, somebody's probably going to have to hit a few out of the ballpark to win it. And I've said this, man, and I think it more every time that I watch them, but I think one of the big advantages that Arkansas has, and LSU is a good defensive team too, but they are so good defensively, and Helfrich is so good behind the plate. And Hobbs told me a stat that blew me away, that ultimately over the course of the season, Helfrich bought them, I think he said, with all kind of the metrics, over 15 outs behind home plate. 15 outs is 5 innings. I mean, that's the amount of count flips and strike threes that maybe were just off the plate that doesn't come out, when they print the stats out, that doesn't show up. But the more that you watch him, you're like, man, that guy can really change a game with his glove behind the plate. And we saw, quite honestly, for Tennessee, what can happen if the guy behind the plate is changing the game the other way. Because that got lost in that. I mean, the balls that went to the backstop totally changed that inning. And then ultimately, bang, bang, one goes in the seats and it's over. But if he blocks it up in a spot, they don't walk Vahiva, they probably come back with a slider. I'm not sure if he puts it in play, if it's down and out of the zone, and bang, we're talking about a totally different game. So I think Helfrich gets lost a little bit defensively and how important he is.
Yeah, interesting. It's going to be a fascinating watch. And I know for Arkansas fans, it's like they feel like they can't catch a break. The teams they're playing with Tennessee coming back here. Now you got to go play LSU. It's like, can we ever get out of playing in the SEC? But they also feel prepared for it. I know everybody asks you this because you live in Omaha, have for years. What are the mistakes people make when they come to Omaha? They go to the wrong places. They do the wrong things. I've tried to explain to people, if you've never been to a College World Series, I mean, it's just an incredible thing to go to, even if your team's not in it. And I'm not just talking about the games. I'm talking about the city of Omaha. So a couple of tips from the mayor of Omaha here when it comes to college baseball, Kyle Peterson.
Easier way into that Jello shot place. Whatever. I've still never stepped foot in it. I mean,
Oh, you'd be mobbed, man. You'd be mobbed. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I know. I mean, I know my place, and that ain't one of them right now. So, no, I would just encourage you to. I mean, just walk. Like it's incredible. Just get out and walk, and it's all the typical stuff. But
walk that bridge.
Yeah, it's funny. Some of our guys got in last night. I already have a picture sent to me of him walking the bridges. They walked it because we stayed at the Hilton, and they walk that bridge every morning just to get out and move around. And the city itself, I'm incredibly biased. I think it's a great city the whole year, but maybe not January. But the way that this place it's why it's been here 75 years, takes place at this event, and then ultimately I think makes it as welcoming as possible for everybody that's coming in. You see it all when you're just out moving around the city. And that's, it's different not being at Rosenblatt because of the kind of Rockwell stuff that existed there. But the best part about it now is, man, you start walking the city and it's colors all over the place of teams and, people take a picture. It's a whole family taking their picture in front of something that they've been talking about doing for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Their team finally made it, whatever. So yeah, I just encourage you to do that. Like, just get out. The games are awesome. Don't get me wrong. But all the other stuff around it is what creates the experience that I think keeps bringing people back.
Everybody always wants to know about one restaurant. There's so many good meals to be had in Omaha. I don't know if you can. If you're going to go to a place that has steaks and says they do great steaks, they probably do, right? Or do you have one? I mean, you got one for us.
I mean, I do. I love the Drover, but
okay, well, that's the one everybody would say. Yeah.
I was there last night, so. It's always the first stop for our kind of our guy that runs the whole show now, and then our producer and everything else. The first night they get in, they always go. So I went and met them after last night. I'll tell you a place that one of my favorite restaurants in town is a place called Avoli, Avoli.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I don't think that you'd think Omaha Italian right away because Lusoli's isn't there anymore. So if Lusoli's was there, I'd send you there. But Avoli's, it's kind of in a cool area of town. It's probably, 10 minutes a drive outside of downtown. But it's my favorite Italian place in town. I probably get there twice a year. It's not that I go very much. But if you want to kind of get out of downtown a little bit, hit up Avoli if you can get in. It's a cool environment, but the food's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Mention Kyle Peterson's name for the best best table in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of places to eat, I saw Kyle and the crew at dinner one night during the Super Regionals, and they're like, "Hey, what did you think about the crowd?" And I'm like, "I think they're nervous." What do you think of like the Razorbacks being we'll get you out of here with this, the odds-on favorite to win it all, and it's like pins and needles for Razorback fans.
Yeah, I mean, if that becomes the reaction, then you've had a lot of success. You've been there a lot. Some guy asked me yesterday, there was some media call, and he said, Arkansas is a prohibitive favorite and the overwhelming favorite, and what do you think of this? And I said, listen, I'm going to stop you for a minute. Nobody's an overwhelming favorite in this thing. I think Arkansas is the best team, but they're all really good. So I think from that standpoint, like, the biggest thing is just play. They may get you. I don't know. If you play the game 100 times, does Arkansas beat everybody here? Yeah, they probably do. But that's not the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's just flat out not the way it works. So I understand the fan base component and the importance of trying to win the whole thing, but at the end of the day, Dave's done one hell of a job for a long time. It was interesting to see his reaction afterwards. And I've been around Dave for a long time. But I don't ever remember seeing a reaction quite like that in a post-game presser.
Never.
And I think it's kind of telling. Just, I mean, what have they not been there in like 3 years? I mean, it's not like it's been a decade or something, but just the importance of it. What it means to him, and I think the grandkids piece is different now. I think he probably start looking at life a little bit different, but it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's well said. Kyle Peterson.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, great stuff, man. Hey, thanks every time. Well, appreciate your time. I know you get a million requests, and we really appreciate you making time for us, man. We'll see you in Omaha.
Well, I love hanging out with you. And you got me to the airport the other day, too, so thank you.
That's great. You didn't go to the Tilly Willie Bridge with Tom Hart, did you?
He's out cruising around.
No, what's funny was I heard him when he was talking about that. I went and listened to it, and I was going to bring it up on air out of nowhere and just see his reaction, and then I screwed up and brought it up because I was just going to act like, hey, have you guys ever been? And just see him spin. But then I screwed up and I said it at dinner, and it would have totally killed the set.
That's funny. That's good stuff. You guys do a great job together. What a great crew. Thanks again, man. We appreciate you.
All right, see you, boys.
See you, man. Kyle Peterson, ESPN college baseball analyst, the best, man. They have a great crew. They love college baseball. You can tell it. You can feel it. And he's been in Omaha
they like
forever.
each other, and that's what makes the show good.
I mean, it's one of the it's an amenity to the sport we love, and so we appreciate the job they do.